Hey, it's Mr. Johns. Welcome to this episode of Planet Zoo. Such a cool game. I am completely and totally obsessed with it. So I wanted to give you an update on what I've been doing. If you have not watched previous episodes, I really was starting off a zoo in a traditionally obsessive kind of way. I use that term a lot. That summarizes me. And I was going to build a flat, boring grid zoo representing 7 continents and all 6 different animal categories. That was my goal, and I realized quickly, pretty boring, and I need to add more artistic effort. Need to include more artistic effort. So, however, when I looked at what other people were doing, for example, this building, I don't know if I've got the patience to do things like this myself. It's maybe a future goal. And because it is really kind of architecture, design and architecture, which I love. I am in a program called SketchUp. Have done a lot of architecture. But there's a lot more to it than just slapping walls together. So I have come to the conclusion that I'm a little lacking in the creative side of my brain. So here's what I did. This is wrote down Poison Blade. This, I want to give credit to the designer. This was done by Poison Blade. This is the entrance to the zoo. And last episode I was talking about using this, I believe. So maybe not. I don't remember. So what we have is a gorgeous fountain, and if this could be a corporation. It could be an office building. It could be a fancy restaurant, really. It does not look like a zoo entrance. And when I looked at it closer, I realized that there are underground areas, and what these are spawning points. So there we go. So down underground, woo, right there, that's a spawning point. The grass is kind of in the way, but that is a guest spawner. I'm like, oh, that's interesting. So they spawn there. And they come up. Whoa, and they come up, and they turn, and they go. Sorry, again, wrong control. Woo, and they go through the entrance, and they enter the zoo. So this is what we've got going. Those are lights, and they come in and they go around and they enter the zoo. Here's the ticket booth, ticket takers, and then boom, zoo. Okay, so I love the architecture. I love the look of the building. I didn't like that it was up on this big bump at all. And so I have spent probably 5 hours modifying that building. So what I did is I spun it around. And so the back of that building is now the front. And I like it much better. I have moved the planter boxes. So over here I added, these are 2, and there's a pro and con here. These are 2 information booths. And then I made this ticket sign out of red. One thing that I recommend the developers do is give you more control over resizing. You know, we're so used to being able to click on the corner of something or the edge of something and drag it. Cannot do that in here that I can figure out. So this sign is actually, I believe, 4 or 5 red squares that you cannot change the size of. And if I'm wrong, someone please enlighten me, because I had to take the time to put 5 of these together, all lined up correctly, and then I added each letter separately, and then I decided I needed to add some border to kind of add it, look like it belongs there. So the pro and con is it looks like a ticket office, which is very cool. There's 2 windows. It's actually 2 different buildings, and so because of that, I mean, there's a gutter running, 2 gutters running down the edge of the building, but it left a crack right here, and so I just copied and pasted and made another. This middle piece right here is an addition so that it looks like it is one building. Now the The downside is that this is an information booth, which means that up here at my alerts, I've got one that's going to always say that this is inaccessible because it's not designed to be accessible. It's really just visual. In fact, this whole thing is not really a pathway. And so what I decided to do is down here, instead of doing a parking lot, I just decided I'm still working on this. And so this is going to be stairs that go down to a tunnel, right? So the illusion of just they're coming from underground parking. They walk this way. They buy their tickets, and then they go in here. Now these are the. Let me finish my thought. One thing that I don't like is that for some reason, the people who work here, the staff, they enter these buildings by jumping over the counter. Okay, first of all, that needs to be. If that was real in the real world, you would get sued. So what I would recommend the developers do is add some doors back here. You can see my issue. You can see a couple workers going by. You can see the issue is here. You cannot connect a path to the back of a building. It just gives you this little loop here. Like if there was a door right here, it would connect and they could actually enter. Now, if this was a real building, the staff would enter from the back, not by jumping over the counter. Like, come on. I like that there's the realism of having air conditioners. That's kind of cool. But give us a door. Give us a door. Also, I learned from last time I was complaining about visitors walking on the pathways of my staff. Well, I overlooked the fact that there's a pathway that's just for under paths and then staff paths. And the visitors will not set foot on a staff path. So problem solved. That was just my bad on that one. Okay. I moved the fountain from what was the front to the side to give it this a really nice visual. If you're pulling up to this zoo, you're thinking this is a pretty nice looking entrance to a zoo. We know it's a zoo. We know there's tickets. We know there's an entrance. And so this is another sign that I made. Just again, fairly boring and flat. Looks like I need to move that spotlight forward just a little bit, just by sliding it that way. Okay, so, and then my favorite part, honestly, is this huge sign. And yes, I changed the name of my zoo from If I Ran the Zoo to, because this sign came this way, it said Animal Adventure. It didn't say zoo, and there wasn't an S, and it was only that big. So I doubled the size of it. I added an S, and I added the word zoo from another sign, and then these animals were from a third sign that said something zoo on it, and I deleted the letters, and I put the three-dimensional cutout of the animals up there. So now it is the Animal Adventures Zoo, which I really like a lot, and everything kind of ties together. All the graphics, the fonts are similar, except for the word zoo. I want that to stand out. And tickets, I want those to be separate, kind of stand out. So let's look inside this thing. These are the guest spawners. So right here, I like these. A lot of times people will cover those up with a path so that you don't see them. I think because it has the Planet Zoo emblem logo on it, it's almost like laying out the carpet. You know, it's not a red carpet, but laying out the carpet for the visitors. And so, yes, they actually won't come from the parking and come buy the tickets and then go through here. They actually will spawn directly here, and then they will walk through and hand their tickets to the ticket takers who will be here when we open the zoo. Now, in here, this looks completely different. This was a wall right here in that other building over there. I deleted this wall. What I decided to do was, and I've got some work to do, I would like this to be a gift shop, this whole area to be a gift shop. So that's what I'm going to work on. And as the visitors walk out here, there should be some amazing vista, viewpoint, or habitat, something right here. So there will be something major here. But what I like is that you have the option of walking the zoo like most people do, or you can come over here and ride the train. So still working on this, obviously. So we have just the queue. There's a staff member there already. I need to come up with a sign. By the way, this was the this is where the people came from in the original, and I had to raise the height of this. As a matter of fact, let me zoom around. I'll show you. This is what it looked like before. Look how low that is. It is so low. It's so low. So I think this ground right here was supposed to be cut away and some stairs built for the people coming up from down below. But I had to raise the height so that people could actually walk through it, and they'll come out here and they'll get on the train and take a ride around. So the goal is the train will do like this big loop around. Not really sure where exactly. I mean, this is a huge area, so probably I'll make the train just go halfway and eventually expand it or have an additional kind of transportation. But for those who are, you know, physically challenged, handicapped, they can't walk that far, don't want to walk that far, older, etc., I want them to still to be able to see the zoo and then get on the train and then go pretty much see the outside. I don't think the train will be able to go through everything. I think it'll just be kind of an overlook of looking in. And then eventually I'll have some other rides. So your transportation options are the 4x4 adventure tour, the transport monorail, a boat, riverboat, the steam train, and a suspended gondola. So all of those are so cool. And one of the reasons I like this game is it's kind of like SimCity in a way. It's almost like kind of like Transport Tycoon or other transport games. Almost like a train sim in a way. Very, very simple. But if you like any of those things, if you want to manage your money, if you want the challenges, you want to just do sandbox mode like I'm doing, if you want a career, if you want to run a franchise and eventually own dozens of zoos, you can do all of that in this game, Planet Zoo. So very, very cool. And the last thing I want to show you is, we might as well go in here and show you. Down here in the building, I've got staff path. This goes to a door, non-working door, but the path is connected. And so the faculty, the staff, all comes down through this area. And all the buildings that are necessary. So we've got the staff room. We've got the keeper hut. We've got the quarantine for sick animals and new animals. We've got the research center. We've got the trade center. Here's the power back there. I've got one generator so far. I guess it's not really a generator. It is a transformer. Look at this. I like that decoration there. It's just really cool. This is the veterinary surgery, and this is the workshop. So all that connected to path, staff path, so that's where they hang out. I want this whole area to seem like a little village, and I use the New World theme just for these buildings, and I want to eventually, obviously, decorate it and make it a place that is kind of separate from the rest of the zoo, that only the staff gets to hang out back here, and I want it to be a really cool place. So that is the update on the Animal Adventures Zoo. Super excited about customizing this building, and again, thanks to Poison Blade for sharing his build and allowing others to customize it. So the zoo, a lot of work to go. I mean, this is it's a large task. So we'll see how long my attention can make it. We'll see. I'll see you at the zoo next time around. For now, Mr. Johns is out.